It's just sheer. That is what I call a lighthouse. In today's episode, we're heading 22 miles from Wick to the small port village of Scrabster, known for its fishing and travel connections to the Orkney Islands. Come and join me as we take a wander through Scrabster and partake in the Holborn Head Circular, right here on Highland Gander. Behind me here, on the other side of the bay, we have Scrabster, well known for its fishing and its port that takes you over to the Orkneys and Shetland. It's also known to a nice bar, which is great for a little bit of food. What we're going to do today, which is the Holborn Head Circular. So it's another trail brought to you by the All Trails hiking app, which you can find a link below to that, and is the exact trail that we're doing today. And we're just going to take a wander through Scrabster there and make our way past the lighthouse and follow the track round. It's a beautiful morning. It's a little bit overcast, but I think the sun's trying to come out in the distance. And we're looking towards Thurso over there. Right, so let's make our way down. So what's cool to see here is one of the North Coast Trail markers. That's a fairly new trail, brought to you by the same people as the John O'Groats Trail. As you might be able to see from the quite steep cliffs just behind the village here, this is not going to be a flat hike at all today. I'm just hoping the weather's going to stay okay, because up there is very exposed, and if the rain comes in and the wind, it's a whole different ball game. So we'll see how things go. We have North Link ferries there, and it really is a cool little fishing harbour. Bar I just showed you is a great place to get some fish and chips or a burger. From here you can really start to see how steep it's going to get. You can find the signs as you go along, they tell you where to go. And we're now going to head along this road, and this brings you up to the Scrabster Lighthouse. Just off the ferry terminal here, we've got all the guys queuing up to go on the ferry there, car passengers, and we got the wagons here that have either just come from Orkney or are going over to Orkney, and the North Link ferry there towering over. It might look small on this camera, but it is gigantic, with Thurso peering over the distance there. Quite nice, even though it's quite a cloudy day. I'm hoping the rain's not going to be bad. It's still pretty nice out. Do love the wildflowers this time of year. You can hear the North Link ferry getting ready to go, and but yeah, the wildflowers this time of year are really pretty. We've just seen sort of the back end of the daffodils, bluebells, snowdrops, that sort of thing. It's the time of year they've all died and gone now. But we're now seeing a lot more of the wildflowers popping up. I mean, all the way along these banks, even just here, you see lots of different colours of purples and pinks, a little bit of yellow, obviously lots of green. That's thanks to all the rain we get in Scotland. It keeps things nice and green. But as we come up here, we're now approaching the Scrabster Lighthouse. But all the passengers now just coming off of the North Link ferry there. Probably one of the first ones of the day, coming back from Orkney or Shetland maybe. depending on how far they've come in the last couple of days to overnight. Now getting closer to the lighthouse. I mean, we're very close. That is what I call a lighthouse. Just look at that. And private property here, so you follow the path just to the side and you see Holborn Head with views of the ferry port, and we're going to get a better view of the lighthouse the further we go up this path. The beginning of the path takes you around the back of the lighthouse. It just winds around the back gardens here of that building and the lighthouse itself. And what land you get with this lighthouse really is lovely. Another view of the lighthouse here. We've got to stop and have a look once or twice. My goodness, look at this. I'll be puffing and panting. It was a pretty steep hill. It's your first segment on this trail, just as you go around past the lighthouse, which is a great view. You come up this steep hill. Thankfully that fence was there. I used it to kind of help myself up because it was quite slippery. And then it brings you to the trail. I'm not certain it's too hilly after this point. There may be segments, but this is definitely where it's very likely to get very windy from here. One last look at this lighthouse before we carry on our way. In the distance over there, you might be able to make out from the silhouette of the landscape. And there's a tiny little spike on the end. You probably can't see, but that is the lighthouse of Dunnet Head. Dunnet Head is the UK's most northerly point you can go to. Often kind of confused by John O'Groats, where we were in the last video. That is the most northerly and just has a lighthouse. If anyone knows what these yellow flowers are, they're not daffodils because of the time of year. Daffodils are long gone. I've noticed they're often around sort of boggy or marshlands or the side of like rivers, and that's quite a boggy sort of area there. If anyone knows what it is, they're like a yellow flower. You may be able to see them a bit better here, but this is some form of stream that's just coming down the hill and over the edge of the cliff, and there's loads of these little yellow flowers. If anyone has an idea, that would be interesting to know. Might be lucky here, the sun's coming out, and quite strongly too. A lovely flat path after the hill. It's not too steep, or at least for now. You'll see just how high up this gets, and that's why you wouldn't want to come up here if there was maybe gale force or high winds in the weather reports, or if the weather was bad in general, because it is very exposed. And in fact, if I can find out online just how high up some of these are, it might tell me. I'll put it on the screen now. But wow, am I lucky. This sun's just come out, it's getting warm. I've had to undo the coat. Every so often you'll come up to a stile like you saw I think in the previous clip or two, or a gate, because it is farmers land. You've got sheep just over there, so just bear that in mind. Don't go too close to them. If you've got a dog, keep it on the lead, that sort of thing. Common sense, don't annoy the animals. We're going to go through here now. Another small gate instead of a stile this time. There's a cairn. I'm terrible at pronunciation. We'll put it over the top. Which, who knows what the history is there. We'll see if there's a sign. I'm pretty sure there wasn't last time. The blue sky is threatening to come out, so that's good news. In the distance, the clouds are clearing up, the sunshine's coming through a bit. The view is clearing up a little bit too. I may be really chancing fate here, but we might just about do this trip without being absolutely soaked through. And I think at the end of this, depending on how long this takes me today, I think I've got an hour wait for my bus. Highland buses, It's a pain sometimes, but if you rely on them, you just got to deal with it. And I don't want to sit in the rain and the wind if I'm soaked through. So we'll see how that goes. So in the distance on the hill, which I'll show you in just a second, there's a cairn. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. My accent doesn't help much. I'm not Scottish, as you can tell. I just live here. So we're going to have a look at that, see if there's any information on it. If I can find anything online, I'll add it after, if not. But the hills are looking really cool right now, because you've got all these wild sort of pinky flowers. Hopefully it's picking up okay. I'm still getting used to what the camera can pick up, so bear with me saying that all the time. And then we're going to go and show you just over there just how far up we are, and then go and get a nice view, because I've seen there's a bench just up the top there. Doesn't look very steep, but it is. And when that grass is wet, you could just slide straight down into there. It's not by all means a path to really fall off easily. It's quite flat, but if you were on the edge a bit too close and bad footwear and it's slippy, that's going to be a bad day for anyone. So just watch what kind of footwear you wear on paths like this. Hiking boots, hiking shoes all the way. Never trainers or anything like that. It's just not worth it. You can if you're used to it, I guess, but I wouldn't risk it. We're going to head up towards this cairn now. Cairn, I don't know. And just look at these flowers on the way up. There's a nice trail up in between the flower rows, with the views just getting better and better, up to the cairn, which we're just coming up to now. And you can see in the in between the flowers and the grass, the layers of the rocks up here, they're getting noisy. And we're going to go up to the top of there in a second as well. This is one of the first, I'd call it a good lookout point. And we got our cairn here that's been carefully stacked. Who by? Who knows? But that's taken some time to get that to stand and withhold the winds that they get up here. And it does get windy. Just look at the rocks up here. You can see the layers that would have been made over millions of years, and it's a great place to have a sit. However, I'm going to go up to the top here and then carry on, and actually I'm not going to go to that bench because this is actually higher. So let's head up there and have a gander. So hopefully it's not too windy for this camera, but I've now got up to a pretty good point. If it wasn't windy and you had permission, this would be a fantastic spot to put a tent. Just bear in mind exactly where you are. But there's always points like this I find myself straining my eyes, because I'm trying to work out if I can see orcas or dolphins, or whether it's just water kind of bouncing off the rocks. But if you're scared of heights, look away now, because I promised to show you how high up we were, and whew, that's enough to make anyone's knees shake. I'm sure some people would risk taking a photo right on this ledge here. My stomach would never allow that. I think I would pass out even now on a flat piece. I'm a bit wobbly. So I'm going to head down from this part and follow the path on, and I'm going to take it does seem to be a more direct route. Let's see if that's safe. Let's see. We might get a better view of these rocks as well in just a second. There's a nice flat part here but that's not to be mistaken for being calm and peaceful. As you can see here in the rocks, a better view of some of the layering, and some people will put their names in it. And I won't be going any further than here. You can go further, but as I said, I don't think my stomach would allow me to do that. But you'll see just how high up some of these are. We are stupidly high up here. And in the nooks and crannies there, you've got the nesting birds, all different types of seabirds, possibly even puffins along this part of the coast. My camera would never show that. Just look at that. Something to be careful of is you're coming up some of these tracks which look perfectly fine, and then straight away you see giant blowholes, and if you see bits like this, that means that's given way as well. So it's important as you follow these tracks not to be on your phone or anything like that, because that's, well, you're not going to survive that, I doubt. But a cool little island just over here, a spit or a stack, or I'm not sure what you'd call it. Pretty sure it's not connected, and it's got loads of nesting birds, seabirds on them right now, and we've got more of these flowers either side of the track. That's pretty spectacular. Let's have a look. So that was the bit I was near, and that's why you don't walk near the edge. You might see there's a few that look like they're just about to go. That is completely detached, and that's probably one of the safest places from humans over there. As much as that green area looks fantastic for a tent, it'd be terrifying. And you got the birds nesting either side. You'll see them in the edges of the cliffs. And we've got a segment to go over to now. It takes me over a wee bridge, and we're going to carry on round the Holborn Head Circular. This really is beautiful so far. We're getting better and better views, looking back towards Thurso, looking towards Dunnet Head, and just looking out to sea in general. This is another place you've got to be careful in this wet grass. One slip and you're gone. Carry along here now, cross the bridge, and just follow on with the circular and see what views and beautiful spots there may be to see along the way. We've got another northern coast trail. That's how I know where I'm going. But you've got the app as well. If you download it from All Trails, you can get the offline version. I imagine in the winter the water comes rapidly down here, and it probably looks really, really cool. I'm also glad I'm not out here in the winter, because that would just be brutal. And just as you think the view couldn't get much better, you come up a steep bit where you can't see what's coming, and you see areas like this, and I'm hoping the camera really shows it. So if you've joined over the last couple of weeks or months or however long, or maybe at the end of this video, you might have given me a little subscribe and decided to join the journey. Thanks for joining, that's the first thing to say really. And if you like sort of hiking, camping, outdoorsy stuff, hoping to in future get a little camper van or do some car camping or something like that, a little bit of backpacking maybe, this is definitely the channel to come along with. Hoping also to show not just difficult things but like easy routes. We'll maybe do a little series on easy and accessible routes that ideally ends with somewhere nice to eat or a nice cafe or something. So if you've got any ideas, let me know what you'd like to see or anything like that. As I said a couple of clips before, you just come around bends and the view changes. This is what I've just come around the bend to. Astronomically high areas of just high cliffed coastline. I've been told there's a boat tour that goes along this part, which I'm hoping to do either this year or next, and we can go and see some of the caves and things like that. And there's also one from Wick, which is where I'm based, about an hour and a half, or I might do the longer one that stops in the next sort of village along called Lighthouse, and it stops in a nice cafe there in the harbour. We'll have a look at that. We might do that in the next couple of episodes. We'll definitely do the Wick one at some point. It's affordable, it's really cool. This camera will never show what you're going to see in person. You're never going to see as far, you're not going to see the vibrant colours or just how sheer some of these drops are. Definitely get out, do it. That's what this channel's about. I want people to get out and see things. And if I can help you decide on a place to go because you've seen one of these videos, that make me really happy. And not too long ago, helped some American friends that were over here for a fair while. We got talking over a dram in a bar. And I recommended a few places to go, but they also checked out my very first YouTube video, which I wasn't in. Which we'll go back to, and that helped them decide to go and see it, and I was really happy with that. They gave me a message. We went and saw that, Danny. We also went and saw Castle Sinclair, and that's really cool too. Look at some of these views. We're not seeing any orcas or anything right now. That's a shame, isn't it? We're just kind of following around the farmland. This is what you do on this trail. You kind of follow fences, and you're the cliff side of the fence. Like here, there's like a football pitch's width between the edge of the cliff and the fences, so you don't have to worry too much on this part. But you really do start to see, and ignore how close I look. I'm really not close. I would not get close. It would make me feel very ill. Just how high some of these cliffs are. We are hundreds of feet above the ocean. Hundreds. So we're going to carry on up this path. Thanks for joining. If it's your first time today joining, and if it's not, thanks for coming back. It's nice to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying the sort of stuff that I'm showing on this channel. I do talk quite a bit. We'll get around that at some point. Honestly, cannot believe how good the weather's been this week. It was supposed to rain most of this week for every hike I've been on, and I've either not had any rain at all, or I've had a little bit just at the end. Just look. Oh, look at this. This is the point, according to my All Trails app, that we're going to start loop back inland now, down some farm lanes or something, and that'll take you back down towards Scrabster, which would be where I'll end this episode. So where I am now, I'm actually staying as close to Bents as I can, because it's just sheer. You can see there's a fence post there that's just gone. I'm very far from the edge, like there is quite a distance. I wouldn't want to get any closer. You'll get to a point and there's 2 gates. So if you come through the gate that's directly in front and you follow up through this farmer's field, this is an official all trails route, so you know you can do it, and it's also talked about a lot online and by the locals up here. Essentially just walk up this to the next gate that's directly in front of you, and there's a road that will take you back down into Scrabster. So once you've come all the way up here, you'll come up to 2 gates and there's a gravel track, and then you just follow this gravel track back down to Scrabster, and if there's anything cool to show you on the way, I will. Got lots of little birds flying around. Heading back down now. Woolly looking sheep to the side of us here, which we'll probably get a closer view in just a moment. I just can't believe how lucky I've been with this weather and this view of Thurso coming up now. Wow, that is something else. These guys are pretty cool looking. They're just enjoying their life with a really cool view. I mean, it really is spectacular to look down at. Hi friends. Yeah, they couldn't give 2 anythings. Cool guys. Farmland just over here. We're looking out towards part of Scrabster here, and in the very far distance towards Thurso across the bay. And how just pretty it is along here. How the view can change from walking along the cliffs to now walking through the middle of farmland back into a village. It's really cool, really cool. And we're very close to the end of this trip. It's a great view of the port and the village from up here. So there are actually quite a few more houses to Scrabster at the top of the hill. You can see all the industry, where the fishermen come in. We've got the Simpsons oil and gas, those big canister looking things. Some big cranes, and in the very far distance the lighthouse, which is pretty much where we started today. So I'm going to head, instead of down these stairs, I'm going to head and follow the main road on, and that'll lead me back to Thurso. So I'm just finishing the final leg of my circular walk today. If you did join today, thank you for joining, and if you like this sort of thing, maybe stick around. That's the end of today's video. I'm sure there'll be plenty of bloopers at the end, because I can't speak to a camera yet. I'm still getting used to that. But yeah, right. See you all in the next video.